So I've been testing out the brand new Keychron K3 Pro lately, but is this funky little slim mechanical keyboard nicer to use than my current favourite, the K3 version 2? Well, hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Now this video is all about the Keychron K3 Pro. We'll be taking a look at what it's like out of the box, how it differs from the non-Pro K3 model, some typing and accuracy tests, and my general thoughts after a week or so of usage. Let's go. So the unboxing process is pretty similar to the standard K3. In the box you get a USB cable for connection and for charging. Interestingly, despite this being described as a Pro unit, the cable is USB-C to USB-A. You might have thought you might get an adapter for USB to USB-C connections, but hey, maybe just me. No biggie, but it would have been nice to have the option to connect out of the box without a dock or a dongle. You also get some spare keycaps and also the keycap puller to make it easy to switch out these caps when you need to. And then here's the keyboard itself. Now you can see straight away this looks fairly different from the original K3, but we do have a familiar USB-C port around the back for charging or for use in cable mode, and some toggles here to move between Windows versus Mac versus iOS modes, and also wireless versus cabled. And on the underside we'll see some little flip out feet that allow you to adjust the angle for typing at certain inclines. Now I'm using the K3 size wrist rest to avoid any wrist strain, but you can easily adjust the keyboard height however you need to. So this seems like a really good point to move into a general comparison with the non-Pro K3 model. And this is a keyboard I use most days, maybe 6 or 7 hours a day when I'm working, and it's definitely one of my favourite tools to type with. So let's start with what's similar. Now both of these keyboards will give you a 75% layout, slim profile, mechanical keyboard with adjustable feet, and the ability to connect up to 3 devices wirelessly via Bluetooth. Plus options to have some nice lighting displays with either the white LEDs or full RGB if that's your thing. You also have the option with both keyboards to hot swap the switches out to let you have different levels of clickiness on different areas of the keyboard. So let's move on to the differences, and let's start with looks. Now the K3 version 2 has this shades of grey look, which has this little flash of orange on the escape button. I've always liked this aesthetic as it's super understated, and this combo of ABS keycaps and the brown switches is super pleasing to use for extended periods. Now the K3 Pro on the other hand has got this contrasting sort of 3-tone design in black and this kind of blue-grey colour with a magenta splash on the enter and escape keys. Now I do like this look, but if you wanted to keep it all grey and black, you do get some grey enter and escape keys in the box that you can easily swap out. So these keys are also made of different materials. In this case, we've got low profile double shot PBT. So these are designed to be more durable and more resistant to those greasy fingerprints we get on our keyboards over time. Looks wise, maybe Keychron were always going for this, but the minute I saw this model, the first thing I thought was, aha, this is Keychron's answer to their competitor, Newfie. To me, this Pro model looks strikingly similar to the Air 75, which also comes with double shot PBT keycaps. So behind these keycaps, there is also another change. Keychron have redesigned the stabilizers to make the keys less wobbly on big keys like the space bar and the enter key. So here's the difference so you can see. The idea is that the keys stay on the same level wherever you press them, and in practice I have found enhanced accuracy with the Pro model compared to the version 2 K3. More on that later on. Now I imagine most Pro users will be using this Pro model cabled up for reduced latency, but the battery life claims under wireless are slightly different, which is interesting considering the battery size is the same on both models. Now Keychron claim you can expect between 34 and 70 hours for the K3 version 2 and up to 100 hours for the K3 Pro, depending on how aggressively you use that backlighting. And my own testing pretty much backs this up. The K3 Pro definitely has more staying power when used in wireless mode, and I've not been using that charging cable quite as often. So other than looks, battery life and keycaps, what else do you get with the Pro model? Well, the magic word here is customizability. At least I think that's a word. And with the Pro model, Keychron have added the ability to use the VIA software to reprogram how the keyboard works. So all you do is connect your keyboard up via a cable, fire up the software, and then load in the K3 Pro key map, and then drag and drop any key commands over to where you want them to sit. So for example, if you're not bothered about having backlights on your K3, you can set that key in the top right to be anything you like, from an eject button to running a custom macro that you've written. You can also customize lighting to work pretty much any way you like. Really, really cool, and offers pretty much endless possibilities for you to set up your keyboard to work in the way that best aligns with your specific workflow. Now let's do a little typing test. I'm going to do this for sound and also for accuracy and speed. Now I should point out both of these keyboards are installed with the brown Keychron switches, but as you'll see, they do sound quite different, and whichever one you like is probably going to depend on what you're hoping to use it for. So let's start with the K3 version 2. And here's the K3 Pro. So hopefully you could hear that in the recording that I made. I think the K3 Pro is quite a bit louder, and it's not just volume, but it's a different type of sound. And to me, the K3 version 2 sounds like it's got some sort of dampening applied, like the keys have a silencer on them. I think this would work really well if you're going to be in an office environment, maybe wanting to work in a way that doesn't disturb others. So the Pro model, on the other hand, has much more of a higher pitch to the keyboard sounds, and I think this is much better suited for if you have a home office, or maybe you're lucky enough to have your own office in a workplace environment. I do think if you're going to be sat typing with this keyboard next to somebody, it's going to be a matter of time before they start telling you to turn it off. So I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit more sensitive to this sort of thing, but do bear this in mind if you're thinking about buying either one of these keyboards. They have significantly different volumes. Let me know what you thought about those different sounds. What do they sound like to you? Let me know in the comments below. So let's run a quick typing test to see if there are any differences in accuracy or speed. Let's start with the K3 version 2. And here's the K3 Pro. Slightly better results with the Pro version of the keyboard then, and that matches up with my experience of using it. As much as I love the version 2 of the K3, there are often mishits where it doesn't recognise which key I pressed, and I've not found that happens anywhere near as regularly with the Pro model. So in conclusion, in one of my recent videos I was looking at the iPad lineup and some of the inherent problems with labelling a product as Pro, and I think this is true of keyboards as well as computers and tablets. The whole world of mechanical keyboards is really more of a universe. There's so much to learn and so many variables that you can play with. It's clear to me though that with Keychron marketing this as their Pro version of their best-selling low-profile mechanical keyboard, this is targeted at programmers, coders, and possibly even gamers. Thinking about all the possibilities that key mapping software offers, I can really see how this would be a super valuable addition to your desk setup if you fit into any of those camps. But for me, as an everyday keyboard user, yes, I use a keyboard all day, most days, but I mainly use it for general purpose tasks, typing up reports, blitzing through emails, and so on. And for that, it does feel a little bit like overkill for my use case. I'm going to continue experimenting with the VIA software and see how that might work for me. So in the meantime, I am going to keep this keyboard. Just like the K3 version 2, it is super satisfying to type on, and I really like the general aesthetic seeing it sat on my desk alongside the Logitech MX Master mouse when there's serious work to be done. So if you're interested in picking one of these up for yourself, be warned, Keychron are running very limited runs of this product, but I will drop a number of links in the description with different options for purchasing if you're thinking of buying one and you're lucky enough to pick one up when they restock. And full transparency, I bought this with my own money via their promotional Kickstarter campaign. I haven't got any promotional relationship to Keychron, but I may earn a small amount of affiliate commission if you follow one of the links in the description below. And if you want to support the channel, please consider doing this if you're thinking about buying any of the products that I've shown here. Anyway folks, if you've got any questions about what we've covered today, do let me know down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you enjoyed this one, do be kind, hit the like button, and hey, if you want to see more like this, possibly even a cheeky subscribe. I'll see you next time.